And welcome to Sim Racing Nord. Bit of a change for me now. I'm going to be doing a bit of commentating for these races, mainly on a Wednesday, but we're doing a test race today on Monday, and it's going to take place on the Nürburgring 24 hours with two sprint races, 15 minutes each, with a 10-minute practice and a 15-minute qualifying. Now, I was hoping to have some really fantastic overlays running. Unfortunately, because I've gone in as a spectator, the overlays aren't respecting that, so it's presented with a bit of a problem where I haven't got the overlays. So we'll see where we go, and maybe next time I need to log in as a driver, although obviously I won't race, and we'll go from there. But anyway, it is what it is, and you'll still get to see the race from my perspective, keeping track of the cameras with full commentary. A few other things to be aware of. I don't know all the drivers. I do race with some of them, but I don't know all the drivers, so learning the drivers and sometimes the names will be a learning curve for me. And if I do get a name wrong or pronounce it incorrectly, I apologise in advance. So what I'm going to do is jump across onto the server and switch to the game. And hopefully I can say, good evening, everybody. Hopefully you can see where I am. And I'm currently focusing on one of the Ferraris. There's a couple of drivers already gone out. Thomas has gone out. So as you can see here, he's already on the into the forest section. And he's currently running, he's also in a Ferrari as well. And the good news is, at least they've got the liveries. So small wins and all that, small gains. I've not seen all the liveries. I did download them all, so there'll be a couple of recognise. Obviously the guys who race with myself, but there'll be a couple that I won't recognise. Not seen that one before. Let's look at Roland's. Roland's pretty standard. Marco, not seen that one of Marco's, but I do see Marco's when he races on Sunday. Kevin's, he's in the BMW with a nice purple and orange. Heiko, I hope that's how you pronounced it, also in a BMW. Gilbert is in a McLaren and a nice lime green. Benjamin, I've raced with Benjamin on this server with Sim Racing Nord, is in the Mustang. Great car, a couple of nice functions of it. It brakes for fun. It'll stop anything. It'll outbrake anything, should I say. And it's a really, really good car. And if you're prepared to play with the traction control on it, you can get a real good performance out of it as well. Certainly coming out the corners. Martin, known Martin for a long time, and he'll be using his typical Bailey's Ferrari livery, as you can see there. And then Klaus, I've raced with Klaus many years as well, and he's gone for the Lexus, which was an old favourite in the early days of ACC. But let's keep up with practice, and we'll currently focus on Thomas. So Thomas is halfway around the track as it looks, and he's in the fast section where you'll get maximum out of the car here, and then you take a left-hander. You can't take this in full, bit of release, but you can also go around it quite quick. And then you've got a right-hander which you can take without going too wide, as you can see there. And then we brake hard into the right-hander before we come up the hill to the carousel. So you can hear the car gripping for its dear life there. He's coming up now, and he's going to be coming up to the carousel. This is carousel 1. This is the more tricky carousel. Usually people take this as second gear. He's popped out of it there a little bit. But he's got his good exit there. It's very easy to sometimes over-rotate the car coming out on that exit. Come up to the left-hander. And then usually drop down a little bit of a gear just to get the car to rotate. Right-hander. And then if you get the positioning right, you can take this a little bit quicker. Just be careful of going too far. And then flat again here. Again, depending on your car and your setup, you can take this flat. And then you'd be thinking about trying to ease off on the speed to get the car rotated in for the corner. And the right-hander where you can ride the curbs on both sides. Right-hander, again, you can take that relatively quickly, but you don't want to go too far, otherwise you will be off track, as we've just witnessed there. Unfortunately, he's took an unfortunate bump there, so we'll switch to Peter. So Peter's just got to the carousel, very similar position to where Thomas was. Now all drivers are a different calibre, I believe, so there'll be some drivers who are very, very quick, and believe me, I've raced with some of these around this track. They are some very, very quick drivers. And as I said, all different calibers, so we will see some drivers making mistakes, some drivers getting it right, some drivers taking corners not the same speed as others. That's this track for you. You've got to really learn it, study it, different cars, different braking points. So he's come up to the area now where Thomas went a little bit wide. Yeah, he's kept it there. Into the left-hander. Maybe looking to get round to the right-hander, trying to keep the inside curve first, getting the car to drift left. Foot down into YouTube corner. Ease off. Start putting the power down up the hill. Get the car to the right and then take the left-hander. And then this little funny kink here. Don't really want to take too much of the curb, but you can go flat down here then. And then you've got the jump at the end. Not that jump. This one coming up where the car does leave the ground. And then you've got to think about the balance, and then you're basically flat through here. This is a wonderful section coming up. Again, full power through here. Good setup means you don't need to ride the curbs, and power it all the way down. Braking later on and getting the gears down and getting the car to rotate into the corner. Left-hander, you might want to ease down a gear depending on your speed. Get the car rotated in, and we're into carousel 2, the easier carousel. You don't have to go through the whole lot of this carousel actually. You can take it a little bit early if the angle of the car permits, and you will gain a little bit of time. Double right-hander. This right-hander, the grip is tremendous. You can really throw the car in and it will grip and stay on track. And then we're on to the Dottinger Hole, which is the straight where you can go as fast as you can really. A lot of the cars do tend to top out around the 170 mark. I will put the speed on actually as well. In a second, I've realised, because I didn't have the race labs on. I did have the speed on there. I've switched it off in the display, so I will switch that back on in a second, just as we see him end this lap. And he's decided to call it a day. Right, so let me go into the options and let me put my HUD on. And what we want is, oh, not that one. Options, HUD. I'll put the speed units to kph. Session info, I'll put that on. We don't need the tyres up. Lap times, that'll do. Actually, it's under there. I think it might be under that one actually. Just see if I've got this set up correctly. Not quite. So, okay, what do I need to get that on? I'm going to put the basic HUD on. That will show me everything I need. I suppose I could do it that way. That's fine. I can do that, no problem at all. But I will switch the tyre display off because I don't really need that. You can't get anything when you're following anyone for the tyres anyway. Not that one. That one there. Confirm. Okay, so we should have the tyres off and we should get the speed and gear indicators. So I can still control the game. I can still do pick on the driver I'm looking at quite easily. I can do replays of incidents if we need to. I can change the different camera angles, all the stuff you'd expect to see in this sort of environment really in relation to a stream. The views I've got available, the helicopter cam, where it zooms right out and shows the cars from above. Really good at the start and also really good when you've got quite tight sections with multiple cars. Got various different ones from the cockpit. That one feels more authentic, shall we say, where you get to see the wheel as well. And obviously the accompanying sound of the big brute BMW. Got one where a little bit closer you don't get to see the wheel. I don't find that as enthralling and clear. And they've got good old bonnet cam, which used to be my favourite. I no longer use bonnet cam. I use the good old cockpit. I can do it from the rear wing, so when I get to some close battles I can switch between the different views and show the battle from the rear of the car. We've got the far chase cam, which allows me to look at it just from a little bit of an off distance, obviously from behind of the selected car. And we've also got the chase cam as well, which is just a little bit closer. Not really much between chase cam and far chase cam actually. I tend to use the far chase cam because you get a wider field of view. Got one from the helmet, and if you've got the artificial horizon on, as you can see there, the whole screen will rotate to represent how you'd be looking into the corner. So I'm not going to say VR-ish, but you get the point. Got one from the front of the car. Gives you a good impression of speed. That's where the front splitter would be. And then we've got two different TV angles. These look really, really good. And you get to see the liveries in all the glory here as well. And then a different TV angle as well. So there's two TV angles. And as I said, I can do replays on here as well. It is showing me other information, like the gaps between the cars and stuff like that, so I can work out who to home in on and keep track of. I can also put obviously the timetables up if I need to. We are in practice at the moment, or we just started qualifying. Actually, there's no one qualified yet. I've got the track map, I've got the broadcasting, which switch most things off, basic HUD, and nothing on the screen at all. So there's quite a lot of different options available. But I say we're in qualifying now. I don't know who the fast drivers are, so I'm going to keep on board with Kevin, and we'll see what sort of lap Kevin does. Now, obviously, because of the time, I'm not going to be able to go through everybody. So Kevin's the second car onto the off the Grand Prix circuit. Can't get my words out then. So there's the fast sector. He might just ease off slightly to get the car around. Might drop down into fourth. No, he's keeping it in fifth, but he did drop down. And then, I say, certain cars, a Mustang, you're topping out at incredible rates. I don't know what it is in kmh, but it's 171, 172 miles per hour. And you can really flick it around this corner, as he's just done there. Oh, good balance there, he just kept it. So I can't tell what lap he's doing at the moment because obviously he's going out on a new lap, and sometimes in ACC when you're watching as a spectator it doesn't always show you the lap time. It gives you a bit of a false reading. I think no matter who we switch to, actually if we switch to Heiko, again not 100% certain, you'll see his time showing 13 minutes, and that's not the case. This is quite a unique track because it's so long. You think you've got to go out and do an 8-minute lap before you can qualify, but that's not the case. I'm hoping at some point Marco's gone out, which he has. So, oh sorry, Marco I think it was. So you'll see what Marco will do here. We'll just ride on board with Marco a minute and you'll see what they do. So they don't have to do a full lap to start the qualifying, because otherwise you're going to lose what would be a valid lap because you don't actually complete a full lap. So this happens really, really well. At the end of the last corner where you'd normally turn left, you go back round again and it starts your lap again. So you end up having to do a GP circuit to reset your lap, as opposed to having to do the full Nordschleife to reset your lap. So it's quite good actually, the way they've done it. Yeah, again, that's a really nice livery. Not seeing that one. I think his livery is normally white when he races with us. If the sound levels are off and anybody's watching, if you give me a shout, I'll try and adjust them. I can't really tell what sounds you can hear. I'm hoping you can hear my voice at least, and some of the game. Obviously the inside of the car should be a lot louder than the TV view. So we switch back on board now. You'll see as he comes up to the last sector, he'll brake hard into left-hander here. He'll turn right and go back round again rather than going left, and you'll see the cones at the end. There you go. So he's gone right and you'll see the cones, although half of them have been knocked out. And he starts his valid lap, so his counter at the top left will reset for him. As you can see, it doesn't for us. I can't control that, unfortunately, so we'll just have to go with the settings in the game of who's got what. Now I don't know why I can't see. Let me try and see if I can get them on in a second. There you go, that's what I was after. Which one do we want? I think we'll go with that one. Okay, so I'll keep that on the screen. That's the best one I can offer at the moment. So if I had Race Lab sorted or I'd been connected, we'd have a completely different viewpoint. I will make sure I register next time, so at least I can jump into the pits and sit in the pits. Let's go back out on track. I think Klaus is first, isn't he? Or Klaus is there. Has Klaus done a lap? Klaus is in the Lexus. So not too sure whether he's done an invalid lap or what. Kevin's coming out the pits, so he's obviously gone round again. Oh, we've got a bit of sun dazzle there. So I'm not sure if anybody's actually done a valid lap yet. No, according to this, no one's done a valid lap. Interesting. There's Michael. Raced with Michael for a few years as well. He is one of the quick guys, or class as a quick guy. So if you can beat Michael or you can keep up with him, you're probably quicker than me. I don't claim to be a fast driver. I'm trying to get some lessons here as well. I have to do this fast, because although I can go around in at 8:31, I've seen the likes of Helmet. Is Helmet racing? No, I saw Helmet on before. Helmet in the low 8s, some ridiculous times. Uwe, he's not racing. He's also quick, as is Michael and Marco. Who else have I seen on this track? Klaus is quick as well in BMW. Although he's in the Lexus this time. Lexus should be good on the straight actually, because that straight at the end, the Lexus has got an amazing top end on it. So we've got 5 minutes left in qualifying, and at the moment we have no one who's put a valid lap in. So they've either all spun out and made a mistake, or they've all gone round and done an invalid lap. So let's have a quick rundown and see where the drivers are. So we're looking at number 64, Klaus. Bit of oversteer. Not sure if that's an invalid lap. Oh, we've got a valid lap. Very good lap. Benjamin. So Benjamin's got the fastest lap. He's managed an 8:18. I'll say fast, it's the first valid lap, so I don't know how that's going to be, but that'd certainly demolish me, and he's in the Mustang. So it can be done in the Mustang. We've got Klaus, as we've just seen, getting a bit sideways. We've got the 202 of Kevin. He's coming out the pits again, so he must have made a bit of a mistake. Heiko. In car number 944. Could be in a Porsche, couldn't he, really, rather than BMW with that number. Very tentative. And to be honest, first time I went around this track, I was all over the place. So I fully sympathise there, not pushing it and not pushing it. 171, Michael. That looks like YouTube corner he's just made round. Yeah, it was. Let's come up to the jump now. You'll see the car jump. Number 9, Thomas. So we've got 2 valid laps now. We've got Gilbert, who's done an 8:38 in the McLaren, who's second place behind Benjamin. We've got Peter Briggs, number 17. To be honest, this sort of track, the qualification, I don't think it really stands for much, because once you're on track in the race, that's where it counts. I've seen many a time qualifying do well in that first corner or GP circuit, you lose everything. He's took that nice there. Nice bit of speed around the carousel. Off he goes into the distance. Roland, number 68. Also in the Ferrari. Quite a few Ferraris in this. 6 Ferraris. That's half the field, more than half the field are in the Ferrari 296. He's coming to the end. So is this going to be a valid lap? Are we going to see someone else on the leaderboard? He's coming down. He's going to pass the start finish. And he did. So he was just behind with an 8:19. So good lap there by Roland. And Marco, who we know was late coming out the pits, so he's currently getting his lap in. Stay on board with Marco a little bit. As we've seen a few drivers getting laps in now. Michael's done an 8:26, so he's now in third place. And Martin Bailey has done an 8:35 in another 2:96, so they're just starting to get the laps in now. And qualifying's got 1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go. So I don't know what time they've got on the server for rollover, but they could very well. Don't get the lap in shortly, they're not going to get a lap in. Looked a bit unsure of himself there, where he landed. He didn't change gear, but it looked like he didn't feel the car grip, so he just eased off a split second. He's dropped down there, he could have done that flat a little bit. So that's cost him a little bit as well, I feel. But if you're going to get a valid lap in, at least he's getting a lap in. So at the moment there are 5 valid laps. Heiko did do a lap, it was invalid, he did a 9:32. He's took that wide, he's easing off a little bit, just coming out. And hopefully we'll see what sort of performance he's going to get on the straight. Okay, so he's 220, 230, 240, 250. That's it, quali is over, and they've got 10 minutes to get the lap in. So he's getting to a maximum of 272, 273. He will gain a bit more just as he gets to the peak here. So he'll probably get to about 276 as it starts going downhill. 277, 279. Pretty good, that. Braking very late into this corner. Taking it in first. So that last sector was pretty quick actually. So I'll be interested to see what he's got. Give you a second. To tell you, and that was an 8:30. Now we've got a new leader, Peter, with an 8:15.6 in the Ferrari. So Peter's currently leading. Klaus is on the start finish. He's already doing 283. Bearing in mind, Marco got to 279. He's not even got into the hill section. I said this Lexus is quick. 290. That's how quick the Lexus is. I used to think it had brakes like a tractor, but that's obviously not the case. Went really well there, so that's going to be worth a little bit of time, just that little speed, extra speed at the end alone. So what's Klaus done? Klaus has gone into second place with an 8:17. Brilliant lap. Let's go on board with Kevin, BMW. It's quite early on into the lap here. So there's 3 drivers without laps registered at the moment. This is the fast sector. He's reluctant to put into 6 to get a little bit more out of it. Don't know if getting into 6 in the BMW does much there. He's kept the car going around the corner, he's kept it on the track. Always helpful. Just eased off ever so slightly there. Hard braking zone. And you know where we are now, we're going up the hill section into the carousel. He's got around there okay. He's off there. So you can do it flat there, but this is the bit that usually catches me out. He's took that well. He's got that well as well. Yeah, just got to keep the car back a little bit there. The temptation in that bend is just to go a little bit quicker than that. It'll either fling you out off track or you'll invalidate your lap. So just that easing off makes a big difference. Nice and tidy up there. Still got 6 minutes to go. See the speed, absolutely phenomenal through there. Great sensation. Just see them absolutely flying. Someone else has now done a valid lap. Thomas de Begorski has done an 8:22 in the Ferrari 296. And he was one of the guys telling me he's a newbie to the game. Well, if you're doing an 8:22 and you're a newbie to the game, I'd hate to see you when you're not a newbie. That's a good time, that. I don't think I've ever gone that fast. And I'm not a newbie to the game. In fact, if I shared the number of hours I've played the game, it'd probably frighten you. He's coming up to the final straight now. Let's see what the BMW gets. Don't think it gets anywhere near the Lexus. So it's on a par with the Ferrari. So that'd be interesting to see them on the straight. When I come to the hard braking zone at this, always if you got a car unbalanced, fears the life out of me coming into there and braking hard to get it to come round. Number of times I've come off there. Luckily never upset anybody else, but I've come off that corner so many times by getting my braking point wrong or going in unbalanced. So did Kevin get a valid lap in? He did, and he did an 8:16. Well done, Kevin. And the last person on track is going through that's a second carousel, I think. And now he's missed the start, unfortunately. So we come to the start of the race. Got 2 minutes to go. Quick rundown. Okay, so at the front we have got Peter in the 296. That's the blue car on the right. On the left of that, we've got Kevin in the 202 BMW M4. Behind that on the right, we have Benjamin in the Mustang. We have Klaus on the left in the Lexus. On the right, we have Roland in the Ferrari. On the left, we have Thomas, who's in the blue styled Ferrari. On the right, we have Michael in the Ferrari. And then on the left of that, we have Marco, also in a Ferrari. We have Gilbert in the green McLaren. You can just see under the countdown, sorry. We have Martin Bailey, who's in the Bailey's red Ferrari. And they have Heiko at the back in the BMW, who's unfortunate his lap couldn't come in. And we have someone in chat. Hi, Ridvan. Thanks for watching. Unfortunately, although I did do German at school, my German has long gone, lost me, I'm afraid, so you're stuck with an English stream, so my apologies in advance of that. Right, let me go to drive, and then we're ready to go. So are we going to see everyone take off like a rate of knots? Or are we going to see carnage as we get to the end of the hairpin on the GP circuit, which is where everything normally goes wrong? So what I will do is I'm going to keep it on Helicam for now, just to see what's going on. And then obviously if we need to go back and do a replay, we'll go back and do a replay. Everyone's just getting themselves ready for the start. So temperature's 25 degrees. Track temperature's 33 degrees. The track temperature has gone up a little bit since the start of the session. And it's a 15-minute race, so we're looking at 2 laps. And the tyres should easily manage that, so it should make it very, very interesting. So just drop the camera back a little bit, just to try and get a few more cars in, because they're just splitting up a little bit. Could do really with them bunching up, but I can't control that. And there we go. So are we going to see carnage in the hairpin? There we go. We're coming to the braking zone. So far so good. Everyone's got round. Excellent. Yeah, was a bit of contact. A few cars come together, but no one's actually lost too much time there. So all drivers have got round. I say there was 4 little contacts there. Sorry, 3 contacts between a couple of cars, but it looks more like door banging, if I'm being honest. So not too much to worry about there. So we're currently along the Mustang of Benjamin, who's being followed closely by the BMW of Kevin. Now I know this sector here, the Mustang's really quick at. And then the next sector is where it struggles a little bit compared to the BMW. But then when it gets onto the fast parts of the forest, it's really, really quick as the Mustang. But it just struggles in the slower corners sometimes. So obviously everyone's going to be close quite early on as it stands. It's quite difficult to pick the drivers to watch. But as the races continue, you can see there Klaus just going a bit wide, cut the corner a little bit. Nicely done. Just starting to break the field apart now. Do a bit of a rundown in a minute. You can see he's just a bit on the grass there, but he's just kept it. Obviously pushing quite early on with cold tyres. That's one thing I found with the Mustang. The coldness of the tyres massively influences that car. I'm going to jump to the back. There's a bit of a battle going on towards the back as well. So got a little swathe of cars here. I'm on board with Martin Bailey, who's currently racing down Michael and is being raced down by Gilbert. So Gilbert did a great qualifying time, so he's lost quite a lot at the start. He wasn't one of the ones caught in an incident as well by the looks of it. I do think they were all down to door tapping, so he must have made a mistake on the GP circuit. You see there Michael's just free flowing, starting to disappear now. Thomas is also gaining. Thomas is gaining on Marco. You can see he's definitely got a bit more speed than Marco there. Ooh, again sliding. Looks like Marco's going to go wide. Is he going to give the position to... Is he going to give the position? No, he's just holding back a little bit. Oh, I didn't know you'd get away with that in ACC. Normally you end up in the barrier if someone comes up behind you like that. The car collision isn't the best in ACC. That's all I'll say. It's not as good as other games. At least you do get car damage, but unfortunately you probably get more car damage than you'd expect just by brushing someone's rear bumper with your front bumper. See, there's no concept of bump drafting, unfortunately. So I'll jump to the rear wing now of Marco's car. Oh, and we can see there Thomas has gone off. Just give Marco a bit of breathing space, but hasn't disrupted him too much. So Klaus is also under the attacking realm. He's trying to gain into Klaus here. Sorry, Roland, my apologies. I say I'm still trying to get to grips with the names. So the tyres will be up to speed now. We have got a car right at the back, 944, who's I think was the person who's still learning the track. But again, everybody who does this track, you've got to learn at some point. With 72 or 77 corners, I can't remember, my apologies. Not only do you have to know the track, the corners, the braking points, where to accelerate, it's an absolute nightmare. And as your tyres wear out, you've got to take that into consideration. As the fuel comes off, you've got to put that into consideration. Usually your tyres start to wear as the fuel comes off as well at the same time. So there's a lot to learn with this track. It's not just a case of going out and doing one lap, and I've done a hot lap, and where hey, it's so much more than that. See now, Klaus is really going for it. Gonna make a pass up the inside. Got around the trees. I can't see them. The camera won't move. He's past him. Let's we can do a quick replay of that just so we can catch it. I'll do it from Klaus's replay, so you can see the pass happen. You can see he's got much more speed here. So this is the fast left-hander. There's a lot of respect there given to the car on the outside, because he could easily come in to take that corner, and that's allowed him to pass. Well, good pass there, Klaus, but again, good driving by Roland for giving him the space. That's what we want to see. Driving space, and we're back to the race now. So I'm going to go back to Thomas, who is being chased. He's going off track a little bit. He's being chased there by Michael, who does seem to be having one or two trips off track. You can see he's not giving up though. I'm trying to work out, is that damage on the front of his car? It looks like he's brushed a wall or something. I know he went off the grass before. I don't remember seeing him hit a wall per se, but I mean, obviously I can't keep an eye on everything. There's been no further incidents recorded, so I cannot see that someone's physically gone off and contributed. You can see the car's just taking off there as well. This is a fast sector, so what will be interesting here, I'm going to go on board with Thomas. I'll go with his cockpit. Whoa! What's happened there? Let's do a replay. What happened to Marco then? It was Marco, wasn't it? So hit that curb. Is it the hill? Is it the jump? We saw him, he's off in quali. No, he's got round there okay. Fast left-hander. Another fast left-hander. Oh, oversteered. Oh, he's become a passenger, and I think Marco's called it a day, has he? Oh no, he's gone to the pits. Okay. So I don't think we're going to see Roland catch Klaus on the straight, because that Lexus is just too quick. I'm trying to work out why I'm not seeing the... Just let me just do this so I can... I don't know why I'm not seeing everything on the cockpit actually. I'm wondering where the speedo's gone. I've got no speedo. Right, there you go. Got that back again. Sorry about that. So if the Race Labs was working, wouldn't have these problems. But unfortunately... So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. That lap Klaus did was an 8:25, but it was invalid. Peter and Benjamin both did an 8:17, so they're both flying at the moment, with Kevin behind them with an 8:20. So they're both doing, but all three drivers are within 3 seconds of each other. The two are within a second. And then Klaus and Roland, who were on board with here, both did an 8:25. So again, extremely close in relation to what's going on. And Thomas and Martin, the gap between them is 4 seconds, but both within 8 seconds of the lap time. So I think we're seeing the Ferrari's definitely more nimble. We can see that against the Lexus here, but the Lexus has just got the grunt. When it gets on the straight, it just seems to go forward, and you'll see that when we get to the faster bits in a minute. You just see the Lexus just start to pull away. And what I'll do is I'll go to the rear wing of the Lexus and show that. Well, you can see it's very unstable going into there. So you might not see it here, but we'll see it later on. In fact, you can see it there. He's pulling away. But under braking, the Ferrari's much better. Very close to the wall. You can see here the Ferrari is really dominating. In the corners. It's the straights where we'll see the Lexus pull away. So we'll wait for the first straight, which is after the right-hander. Oh, maybe not. They both actually slid round that corner, but the Lexus held more. So this is the first bit into the left-hander, and then we go to the uphill section. So this is the bit where I said we're going to lose the Ferrari, but obviously that's already gone now, so he's got a bit of breathing space as Klaus here. Really cranking up the speed as well. I'd expect this to easily hit 280. Yeah, it's nearly hitting it's 285. Ferrari's there in the distance, only just. So I'm going to do a bit of a rundown as we're on the last lap, 3 minutes to go. We'll go to the front. And there's Peter, he's currently leading, but he's being chased by the Ford. I did say there wasn't much between them. Will be interesting on the straight actually. Then we've got Benjamin in the Ford. I'll see where they are and may switch on the straight just to see if the Mustang does gain. There's not much in him. There's 2 seconds gap, but it's not that much actually. Kevin in the BMW in 3rd place. Now he is going 5 seconds faster, but these guys are going 4 seconds faster. So I think Benjamin is going to be the fastest lap here. Klaus in the Lexus, he's 3 seconds faster. So he's going to be in the low 820s. Roland, we saw go wide and go wide again there. He's also quicker. Thomas, who we know was pushing hard early on, did a really good qualifying time. Just seems to be struggling with the car in race trim. Martin. Whoops. Sorry, click on Martin again. He's looks like he's fighting the car a little bit there. Michael, I think we saw Michael go off. Oh, he certainly lost time because I know Martin's passed him at some point, which I didn't actually see that happen. Gilbert, who was very fast in qualifying, just seems to be going. The car looks very loose. Looking at the way it's going into the corners. So I don't know if his race trim it's a little bit too loose. That's what it looks. I could be completely wrong, and it obviously could be a ping that I'm suffering with, but it just looks a little bit loose to me. Heiko is also. We've seen he was going. He was trying to get to know the circuit, so that's understandable. So let's go on board with the Mustang because these guys are coming up towards the end of the lap. We'll see if the Mustang can gain. It's a 2-second gap at the moment. It's a bit less than that, but you get my point. Yeah, they're both really pushing, aren't they? The gap isn't really changing much. He gets within 6 tenths. I think there's an opportunity for the Mustang here, but I don't know. So the Mustang will do the same speed as the Ferrari, but it can do it in fifth gear, and it's then got another gear to pull out the bag. It's a bit like the Audi, with the Audi having 7 speed. The Mustang's got 6 speed, but the fifth is the equivalent of the Ferrari's sixth. But it just seems to get there slightly quicker as well. I actually found I couldn't put it into sixth on the Nottingham Hoe because it just wouldn't let me. It doesn't pull in sixth at all. It might do in a tow, but it doesn't on when you're just going flat out yourself. It just will not pull at all in that sixth gear. I suppose it could be a good economy gear for fuel saving. I hadn't thought of it that way, because that's the other thing the Mustang is. It's very, very thirsty compared to other cars. Not much splitting these guys at the moment. Looks like the Ferrari come out of there quicker. I'm a bit wide doing so though. Mustang a bit wide there. Let's put the what's the names on. There you go. Real-time splits. Is he gaining? He's not going to gain 1.8 seconds. Very similar speed to the Ferrari, isn't it? Looking at it there. Peter's going down the hill now, so he'll be slightly faster. Yeah, Mustang's ever so slightly quicker. I think in a tow it'll gain, but he's not. Yeah, he's took 1/10 off him there, but the braking zone's going to get him. So Peter will finish first. Followed by Benjamin. And then we've got Kevin. And then we've got Klaus. So that's the top four. Roland gets onto the start-finish straight as well. Thomas coming around the final bend. He gets on the start-finish straight. Martin Bailey's a few seconds behind him. He's just come up through the final sector now. Looks like there's a bit of damage on the front of his car actually. Or is it? Yeah, it looks like he's grazed, but... And then we've got Michael, who you could see was behind Martin. He's just finished. Gilbert. Oops, there we go. Gilbert's coming down the McLaren. Aiko's come up to the final bit. Getting himself onto the final bit of the second carousel. Oh, nearly went oversteered into the wall there. He's kept it going. This is the last driver, and Marco, as we know, is in the pits. Looks like that bonnet looks damaged, as if he's hit something, perhaps. I don't know. Couldn't really tell properly. That's what it looked like. Let's have a look as it goes past. Does it look like it's hit something? Yeah, that looks damaged. So it looks like Aiko's hit something there. Now it's 2 races. That's the first sprint. So we will reconvene with the second sprint. Excellent stuff. That's it. So the winners were Kevin Michael. Sorry, it wasn't Michael, was it? They've all gone now. It was Peter, Benjamin, and Kevin for second and third. Back shortly as the second part of the race starts. Okay, we'll head back. They are on the grid, lined up and ready to go. So again, same grid. You can do reverse grids at ACC, but you can't do them in session, unfortunately. It would have been great if you could, but you can't do it in session. So unfortunately, it takes a qualification from the first race, from the first qualifying session. You could have two very short sprint qualifications, but on a track like this, that just wouldn't work. Or you could have two very short qualification sessions of one lap and force the drivers to go out and do different times to put them in different places on the grid. But you know what I mean? That's I suppose there's different ways of choreographing it. So we're going to see the dominance again with the Ferrari of Peter, or we're going to see Kevin and Benjamin put more pressure on. So we've got 25 seconds. They'll all be running their engines now. Cars will have been lowered off the jacks. They'll be ready to go. Be sat there revving their engines a little bit. Final checks of the dashboard, making sure the gloves are strapped on, putting the visors down. And we're off. Okay, so they'll start going up until the start-finish grid, at which point they'll go. It'll be interesting to see if some of the mistakes that were made in race 1 aren't replicated in race 2, because I think if they're not, we'll see a different outcome in this race. There's definitely quicker drivers who finished outside where they should have finished, and I've only seen them qualify, and I could tell from the driving style that they were pretty quick, and yet unfortunately little mistakes here, little mistakes there just meant they didn't finish where they probably should have done. Such a long time doing a rolling start. So I'll try a couple of things for next time. I'm going to contact Race Labs and ask them to fix the problem. It may be something they can fix, maybe something they can't. If they can't fix it, I will register on the server. Now it means I'll have to jump on the server as a racer, but I won't race, but it will allow me to use Race Labs, and the experience will just be better from a visualization perspective. Off we go, coming into T1. I don't expect any problems, as there wasn't any in the first race. Everyone's given the birth, but you can see the Mustangs going up the inside. Oh, contact there. A bit more contact there with Roland and Thomas. And there goes the cones. Obligatory smash the cones in that corner. Always seems to happen. And it looks like we're all round again without a problem. Everyone's made it through. Are we going to expect a faster battles? Possibly. So we can see there the McLaren was giving Martin, the McLaren of Gilbert was giving Martin a bit of pressure. So I think that's the first battle we can probably concentrate on. I've raced with Martin for many years. True gentleman. Raced with him last night, and some of the racing we had for lap after lap after lap was brilliant. Not one single door contacted. So much respectful racing between each of the drivers, myself and him. In the corners, giving space, and so on and so forth. So the front is getting a little bit tasty. As you can see, I had to switch back then because yeah, I could see it was just starting to get a little bit hot. And the Lexus has looks like he's done one. He's keeping up with the BMW, but the Ferrari is not having a say in it at the moment. We can see the Mustangs playing with the Ferrari here. So this is on board with Thomas. We were on board with Thomas before, and unfortunately I think we saw him cut a corner. And you see the Mustang get a bit twitchy there then. We're going to see the Mustang start to use its power. This is the sector where the Mustang will use its power. It can take this corner really well. But then you'll just see him starting to gain on the Ferrari as we come up to the rise here. I would expect so, shall I say. Once that grunt kicks in, there you go. Oh, you've got a bit of elastic banding going on there, I suppose. Again, another twitch from the Mustang. Just allowing Thomas to pull away a little bit there. And meanwhile, in front of Thomas, he's looking at the two guys in front of him thinking, when can I catch them guys up? Because he's got enough in his rear view mirror. Yeah, Mustang's really giving him a bit of pressure now, and you can see Roland behind. And the grey Ferrari is also thinking about it. Hate this corner. Hate it with a passion. That's the corner that always used to catch me out every time I was racing on this track. Always used to put it into the wall. I know it's there now, but I still hate it. Oh, hey up. I'm going to switch to Benjamin here because he made a bit of a mistake and allowed Roland to pull in a little bit. To helicam so we can see a few cars in one go here. Oh! Oh! Let's go back to Thomas and let's review what went wrong there. So we can see one of the cars in front's left some dust. He's over-rotated coming out. He's put the power down too much. Oh no, the car can go light here. The next corner, I think he's over-rotated. If it's the right-hander after, the car can go light. Oh, the curb onto the grass. And unfortunately, he's become mulch. So that means I don't know who's got damage there. But Thomas is going to be limping around now. Well, I should imagine a fair bit of damage after that. Bit of a collision with my good old friend Barry. I'm going to jump forward a little bit because there's a bit of pressure going on here with Marco and Michael. Two drivers I've raced with for a good, I'm going to say years actually, a number of years now. So I do see them quite close normally racing to each other, not when they race with me. So this doesn't surprise me. And they're just behind Roland, so they obviously benefited from the impact that Thomas had when he spun. So it's quite a tricky sector coming up now because it's all about the bends and getting the bends right and the braking points and the power down. So if you're going to make gains and you're quick through a certain sector, and this is the sector, this is where you can do it. And if you're close enough on the straight, you may make a pass. Okay. Now Klaus is keeping up with the BMW. What I'm going to find really interesting, I'm going to keep an eye on things. I'm going to see how Klaus does with that BMW and the Lexus power. Because I think if he's within a second, he's 6/10 behind at the moment. I think he'll take him. But we'll wait and see. See the good battle going on here between Peter and Gilbert. Peter the car behind. Just pulling back a little bit there, Gilbert. Just getting away. Marco's still battling well with Michael. And we've still got the Lexus of Klaus trying to keep up with Kevin in the BMW. So Kevin's going for 2 for 2 here. As you can see there, Klaus has got better ideas. This is going to be interesting, this. So let's get on board and see just how quick this Lexus is. And does it gain? So the gap's 1.1. 1. 0.9. 0.8. Got the pace. 0.7. 6. Wow. That's a lot of time when you're not in the toe. And he'd now be in the toe. So that'd go up even quicker. That Lexus really does shift. Still shifts. Always has done, but wow. Right. I think we've got other cars on the straight. Just seen a pass. Let's go back and watch that pass again. So he's teed it up. He's going to go for it. He's in his slipstream. Pulling out to make the move. He's got enough overspeed to do it. It looks like he's going to get it done. There you go. He's made the pass. So good clean pass. Using the benefit of the slipstream to allow him to do that. Excellent stuff. Good to see that working in real time. Now, there was a few incidents, as we know, in that previous lap, and that I think has caused the balance of the race to be where it is. So in the last race there was 4 incidents in total. This race has already been 11. So it tells you the difference in how 2 races can differ with the same set of drivers when they all start in the same place. It's just one of them things. It really is just one of them things. So Thomas is, I think he's limping a little bit. I think he's got damage, but I don't think he's threatened from Heiko there. But I say Heiko's still learning, so that's brilliant to see on track, not giving up. Martin is a second ahead, so Martin is pulling away. Gilbert's just gone a little bit wide there. As we know, Peter's well and truly past him now and is off on the hunt for Marco, who's 3 seconds up the field in front of him. A couple of seconds, shall I say. And then again, between Michael and Marco, it's 3 seconds. Michael's 1 step, 1.6 seconds behind Roland. It's alternating between different times, obviously. And then the gaps are pretty much split out now in front of that then. So the battle is going to be around the field here. Now we've got another battle going on. We've got Marco being chased down by Peter. So Peter's not happy. Not only happy taking a McLaren, he also wants to take a fellow Ferrari as well. So the battle here is going to be down to setup. Who's running in less downforce? We can see there Peter's obviously got a bit of toe. So you don't want to be going for the pass there. And your front will go very light there with the air being stolen from you. He's going up the inside. And I can't help thinking Marco's let him go there, realise he's faster. So Peter will now be hunting down at Michael. And Thomas has caught up at Martin. Whoa, I was going to say Thomas has caught up Martin. And then Thomas does a big, almost a tank slapper. He just kept that then. But oof, he's really pushing. That's with a damaged car as well. Oh, what's gone on there? Let's go back. So Marco's come round. I can't see what's going on. Right, okay. So he's hit the curb, and that's took him off. Unfortunately, the camera angle didn't allow me. Should have put it onto TV camera. Right, he's running again now. So the next one I think to watch. But Gilbert made a mistake. Sorry, not Gilbert. It's Peter. Peter on Michael. I will keep a look at the gap between Thomas at the back and Martin, because that's fluctuating a little bit. Still within a second, but it's just getting a bit close now. Let's switch to that battle. That car's very, very twitchy, isn't it? What TC is he running on it? He's got TC on it. TC5. So it's got quite a bit of TC on it. Oh, Martin with a big sideways moment there as well. Are we going to see a pass? This is the bit where... Oh, come on. The trees are in the way. That's the problem with being through the forest. The trees disrupt the cameras. Now let's do it that way instead. Oh, big flip off the curb there. You can see the damage on the back of Thomas's car. He's going to make it up the inside under braking. Yeah, pass has been made. And we've seen Martin's just got a bit high there in the carousel behind, as you can see. Well, that's carousel 1, and Peter's now caught up to Michael. Oh, he did. Let's just do that again. Completely missed that. Ah, he hit Michael. So as he's gone round the bend, he's hit the back of Michael, and that's caused him to spin, unfortunately. This is what I was saying about bump drafting before, when Thomas made the same move. Oh. I'm not going to say as if by magic, but that's exactly what's just happened. Let me go back to that. That was Marco. So Marco's come round. Now, I don't know if I've caught the replay here or not. I may not have caught the replay. No, I don't think I have. I think I've missed it. Oh no, that's still, no, maybe not. Thomas has really put the brakes on. I don't think there's much Marco could have done there. Thomas has really put the brakes on. So it's unfortunately caused Marco to go into the back of him. There's nothing he could have done there. I would have expected him to have broke there. So the drivers are taking themselves out. Fastest lap at the moment is an 8:19, and that's been done by Klaus. And we are on board with Benjamin. He's not going to gain too much, but he's got a clean race behind him now. There's no one threatening him. Good 11-second gap between him and Roland. Roland in the Ferrari there. And as we know, the race is coming to an end. Let's go on board with Kevin. Kevin finishes. Klaus also finishes. And Benjamin, as we know, he was coming up the straight, and he finishes as well. Roland's the next one. Makes it 4th place. And Gilbert comes in the McLaren in the 5th. And we end up with 2 cars in the pits this race, Michael and Peter. So Gilbert comes across. Marco's coming down. Here comes Thomas. Here comes Martin. All very close. And Heiko. His bonnet's looking rather a bit further up than it was the first race. But he's still on track. We'll see him through to the end. He's still got a way to go. But we'll stick on board with him. Gets a good bit of airtime. All the other drivers have finished their race. He's coming up to the, this is the fast sector now, isn't it? And then let's see what he gets on the straight. Whoops, what happened there? Sorry. Let's go back to that. My apologies. Clicked on somewhere on my screen I shouldn't have clicked. Yeah, that bonnet's definitely up, it's fair to say. So he's coming up onto the Dottinger. I know it's probably not pronounced like that, but I'm sure someone will correct me. Dottinger or something. It is, isn't it? Dottinger or something like that. I'm getting more familiar with some of the names. The Foxhole, that's the fast section that goes down and then up again. There's just too many corners to remember. Yeah, so he's way down on performance. So he's doing 240. Everyone else has been doing 260, 270. So his bonnet's just a massive air sweep there, pulling air in. So big well done to the podium in both races. Good race to watch. As I said, I will try and get me the overlays working for the next race, even if it means me registering and just sitting in the pits. I'm happy to do that. Hopefully, for anybody who does watch the stream, I've not done this in a while. I'm a bit rusty, but hopefully you've enjoyed it, get to see the race back and get to see some of the clips of incidents happening in the race. So some feedback will be beneficial. It'll allow me to improve for next time. If the sound levels are wrong again, give me that feedback. I can try and adjust them. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for those watching. Thanks very much for those who took part in the race. And I will see you virtually again for the next race. I won't be here Wednesday, unfortunately, but I will do some other races for you. So take care and goodbye all.